Well, hello. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're well. Same shirted again. I don't care. We're back. We're still talking Cabal. Can you believe it? It's been so long. How can he continue to get away with it? Well, because he's just going to make a witty remark, pull out his gun from his Gladstone bag, and shoot you in the face. That's the Johannes Cabal way. We're going to have to play a little bit of pretend again. I've got my copy of the Hagakure here, which we're going to superimpose the book cover of book number 5, The Fall of the House Cabal. That's right. This one I had to read the ebook version of because my library didn't even have a copy of it, period. Failures, I know. Large library system, not even a single copy. Couldn't find a copy of the old Barnes either. The old Barnes and Noble didn't have a copy of The Fall of the House Cabal. But that is the book that we are discussing today. And like I said, I'm just going to use this as a placeholder because no matter what you're looking at, it's essentially akin to a JPEG anyway. So what does it matter? And the story of Johannes Cabal finishes with this book. Personally, I'm sad. When I finished this book yesterday, I was deeply saddened that I no longer had any of new material for 6 foot tall, pale, blonde, skull cane, Gladstone bag carrying necromancer. We always had some kind of remark for his foes and a Webley .577 bullet to put between our temples. It's a sad day. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I finish a series, doesn't matter what it is, with the exception of Game of Thrones, the TV series, when I'm just so frustrated at how it ended that I no longer want to watch television or read the books, um, you just get left with that empty feeling of, well, what the fuck do I do now? What do I do with my? I don't know. I hold my microphone like a rock star. That's what we do. Okay? That's how we do things here in the nook where we read books. Cover art. Again, superimpose my JPEG over top of this book. You tell me. Good? Bad? I like it. Again, same motif. The black, red, white. It's the colors of the House Cabal, in my opinion, at this point. This one brings elements of all 4 of the previous books, in addition to some short stories, some un poquito stories, some small little short stories that I personally haven't read, and you don't have to read, but if you are looking for a little bit more of that Johannes Cabal in your life, they're out there, okay? They are out there. You'll be able to find them, and they will supplement your perusal of book number 5, The Fall of the House of Cabal by Jonathan L. Howard. He is, of course, the prolific author of all of these. He also wrote something called Goon Squad. That's not what you think. It's actually awesome. Don't do it. Read. And today, we're going to be discussing the fall of the house. As always, if you haven't picked up yet, we keep these short, we keep these sweet, we try to make ends meet. And by doing so, we hope not to spoil anything for you, the reader. Our criteria is very simple. We are going to judge the cover art, which I already think is a 4 out of 5. That's out of the way. 4 out of 5. The readability is difficult. This one again, yeah, it's about a 3.5 on the difficulty scale. And what that means is Now we'll put this one at 4. There's a lot more Johans this time, and as a result, there's a lot more words that I had to look up. And thankfully, because this one was on my ebook, I could just highlight the word and get the definition right there, baby. Right on the same screen. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Um, it's important to increase your lexicon so that you may perturb your enemies with the words that come out of your flesh cannon. Is it not the flesh cannon or is the other? Anyway, moving on. The fall of the House of Cabal. Again, elements from all 4 novels. Johannes Cabal the Necromancer, Johannes Cabal the Detective, the Brothers Cabal. No, sorry. Johannes Cabal and the Fear Institute. The Brothers Cabal all conglomerate to one lovely little amalgamation, which is the fall of the House of Cabal. If you enjoyed the 4th book, which I hope that you did, we're getting a continuation of the antagonist from that story and their wily little games with which Johans must navigate in order to necromate. Necromate? Necromantic? Necronomicon? In order to continue being a necromancer, he's got to navigate some wily foes. Each of our heroes introduced in this particular novel or previous novels will undergo a trial. That trial will offer them what they want the most in the world, almost like a monkey paw or a bad djinn, a genie, if you will, a Ginny Weasley, who really wasn't a bad character. I'm also reading the Harry Potter books to my children. You can think of that whatever you want. I don't give a shit about what your opinion about anybody else's opinions are. We're here to talk about my opinion on books. And this one is, again, worth the read. It is a fun story. It, again, incorporates elements of all 4 novels that preceded it. So if you enjoyed any bit of them, which if you've gotten this far, you surely had to have, you'll continue to want to enjoy them again. And with that being in mind, would you own this book? Again, let's bring in our placeholder here, Photoshop the old title over top of it, and you tell me, would you like to have this on your bookshelf? I think you would. You've got 4 others there that would be pretty lonely if they didn't have the finale. Okay? If not, of course, as always, these are library books over here. Get it from your library if they have it. Mine didn't. So I had to get an ebook copy. This one, a whopper of a page turner. 800 pages on the ebook. I don't know if that translates to the actual pages of the book itself, but oodalali, this one had a lot to offer. And I somehow started it on Monday and finished it yesterday, which was Wednesday, for those of you who don't know days of the week when a person's recording videos, which you couldn't possibly understand. And again, it took me about 2 days to finish. I was deeply engorged, in the book, and found it very enjoyable. I don't know if it was because I knew that it was going to end, and so as a result, I was a little bit sad that it was going to end, and I just wanted to kind of know how it ended. Once you know you're at the precipice or the edge of something, you either want to throw yourself off of it or you turn around. And I chose to throw myself off of the cliff and die. And when I was finished with it, I really wished I had more. I wished that there was more. And there isn't. This is it. This is all that we get. The fall of the House of Cabal is all. And as a result, I definitely am going to go and purchase these books. By the end of the year, I intend to own all of them. Do you need to? No, not if you haven't bought the other ones. If you like to hit it and quit it, that's all fine and dandy. We know somebody like that or are somebody like that. Okay? Just because you're a book whore doesn't mean you're a regular whore, and you're still okay to me. Speaking of which, the slutty princess, she's a bitch. And with that being said, yeah, four on the book cover. Should it be on your bookshelf? Hiccups. Yes, I think it should. Another one bites the dust. Let's get this last hiccup out of the way. And let's get to the plot. Again, elements from all four books, multiple heroes, combination of storytelling, varying characters, characters that are very fun to read this time. You get a devil who accompanies Johans and crew, who is from a short story. She is a succubus, succubine type arachnid demon devil. Not a demon, should tell you otherwise. Speaking of slutty. And you get a lot of innuendo this time. You get a lot of joking around. You get the characters really coming into their own because at this point, they've existed for a few years canonically in the time frame of the book, and they're really coming into their own. Um, and as a result, I think that the fall of the House of the Cabal, minus the duh, is the best of the series. I truly think that. If I could, I would give this one a 5 out of 5. It's not going to happen. It's going to end up a 4 out of 5. You can just stop watching the video now. Um, it's the best in the series because again, it's the culmination of the series, but it's where I think uh, Jonathan Howard really hit his stride and brought everything to a very good conclusion. He does leave you hanging a little bit. There's the possibility that he could write some more. He hasn't. Spoiler alert. But the window's open. If he wants to continue it, the window's open. Um, Solid 4 out of 5. Seriously, maybe 4.5 out of 5. The characters are just fantastic this go around. Everybody's well written. Their dialogue is fun. Um, we even get a return to hell, which is great. I mean, every element from the other four books comes into play here. And if you enjoy those elements of the other four books, then you're really going to enjoy the fifth one and the culmination of everything. So, honestly, with that being said, you, the viewer at home, should take a look at my placeholder book, which I was superimposed a copy of The Fall of the House of Cabal. Finish these other four books before it. Take a gander at this one. Enjoy the finish of the story. And you too will be just as sad as I was when it ends that it's over. Because it definitely leaves you wanting more. And that's what I think the finish of a good series should, is that it should finish it to where it can be done, and it does, but it should also finish it to where you want more. There's the possibility of more, even though you may not get to have your cake and eat it too. So, with that being said, as always, let's give this one a solid 4.5 out of 5. I was going to go 4. I opened the door to a point 0.5 more. Solid 4.5 out of 5. Must read finish of the story. And hats off to Jonathan L. Howard. Um, Great author. Hope to read more. We'll be getting into what I hope in the next couple of weeks is Carter and Lovecraft, which is another one of his novels. Much shorter book, about 250 pages. We won't be discussing that one today. And as always, this is my nook. These are my books. I didn't write them, but I read the hell out of them. And now, get up.